for lifting up your God.
So thankful to be here this morning, and what a blessing it is to sit right here for made your way out to the Antioch Church. And, so thankful for God's many blessings this morning. From sickness and troubles and heartaches. May knock us out of covenant sometimes these days. He said He never leaves us or forsake us. And that's the most precious part about serving the Lord. It makes no difference where you go out in this life. They travel different places and they even go into foreign lands. You know, the Lord said, I'll never leave you and I'll never forsake you. You know, and I've been this way, Brother Jerry, and been blessed to go to a few places, and every place I've ever been, I always look there. The Lord has never left me. It makes no difference. He's been out there with me. And sitting there thinking maybe I tried to sing this song. It's probably one of the first songs I ever tried to learn when the Lord first saved me. But you know, if you're here today, lost and undone, I would pray that you would, and I would beg you that you'd begin to pray and ask the Lord to come into your life and let Him lead and guide you along this way. You know, your pastor's talking this morning, you know, about being saved, you know, and I told her like this: I fear of dying and going down to hell. Got me started to get me on my knees and begin to get me to seek for a better way, because I knew, you know, I knew that if I died in the condition I was in, where I was going to be at. And I didn't want to go to that awful place. I wanted heaven to be my home. Took me a little bit, but, you know, faith believing, trusting in the Lord. He made a way. Made me not ashamed to step out and put my light upon the candlestick, and I thank God, Brother Cecil, that I believed. I believed, and I stepped out and believed in the gospel of Christ, which is the birth, death, and the resurrection of Christ, and, you know, and today, and, you know, believing that, He come into my life, and it's been the best life that I've ever had. Although we may have troubles, sorrows, and heartaches, He's still the best friend that I've ever had. I come to love these pilgrims is to me a great surprise, and the way the Lord has blessed me is a wonder tonight. Although I never thought I'd love Him hallelujah.
Amen.
For I'm one of them today. When the Spirit works within you, and you cannot stay away, drop your pride and gently follow in the good old-fashioned way.
Bless him, Lord.
When the Spirit works within you,
Yeah.
takes that Spirit. God seeks us such to worship Him in spirit and in truth. And that's the biggest thing today. I want to worship Him today in spirit and truth and give Him the praise and honor from the very life.
Amen.
I had a thought this morning and I got up. I don't know why it would be on my mind, but you know, when it comes down to loving your brother, what would you do? What did the Bible teach us about? The Lord gave His very life, and He said that ought to be an example. Brother Randy, we ought to be willing to lay our life down for our brothers today. But it seems like anymore they want to tear each other down instead of building them up. But you know, this thought come to my mind this morning, and I'll read it. It's the 1 Corinthians chapter 13, and you can get your Bible and you can read it. You know, and though I have the gift of prophecy, I can be able to do anything in the world. And the understanding of the mysteries and the knowledge and the thought I have all faith, and that I can even remove mountains today.
Yeah.
But this is the most precious thing of it all. And I'm so thankful that God, BJ gave me a love down in my heart for that. I can love my worst enemy and have my charity. I am nothing this morning. So if I don't have the love of Christ down in my very life, then I'm nothing here today. And I'm so thankful that He come into my life and He leads me along the way, Brother Sisters here. When people, just like Brother Jerry singing a song, when your friends misunderstand you, when they put you down, you can still love them, you can still hold them up, you can still go to God and ask Him to help them along the way. So precious is the love of God this morning. And I had a thought. In fact, you went last night and watched a little program, but this morning the thought come under my mind. It made the memory come back, Brother BJ. And when we first got into serving God, and Jeremiah was having to go to the Kentucky School for the Day, and I can picture the place going down the Young Parkway this morning, Brother Jerry. And I told Patsy the sun was a shining, it's so pretty like it is today. I said, what a day it would be if the Lord would just call us out of home with them two little boys in the car. Then we could just climb on up into heaven today. And today in that program last night, they had the soul lady, a mother and father and their children together, and they was in a car wreck. But the most precious thing, they all had Christ in their lives, Brother Jerry. To have love. What would it be to live your life through this life? The most precious thing I think about. You know, I want to live the life for the Cecil. I want to pile up the stones around the way. That little young grandson of mine, I want him to be able to remember his papa. I'm walking along this way, I want to pile those stones up for him. You know, when you talk about piling stones up, there was a witness in the Bible. When he crossed over old Jordan there, he told them to pick up stones when he went across. Oh, what did they do? They built an altar where they set them up there. And what would that represent when your children come along this way? You be reminded of them what God has done for them. I want my life to be what God done for me. I wanted to reflect back to them little grandsons of mine. And most of all, what would you give this morning? I got up to heaven on the vine. What would you give? Your youngest son of mine. What would you give today, Brother Jerry, for that boy to be here and want to step out and say, Dad, the same God you serve, I want to serve too. When the Lord come into my life, I thank God for that. My dad, my mom, they lived the life for Christ as we go along the way. When the Lord come into my life, Brother BJ, I couldn't wait to get home and call that old dad of mine and tell him the same God that you serve is the God I want to serve too one time I walk along this way. I thank God for that. And the most precious thing when you think about your loved one, them that's moved out and went on. You know, it's all about serving Jesus today. It ain't about the name over the door. It ain't about the Antioch church. It's about serving Jesus today. And it's about giving God the praise and the glory and honor. Makes memories come back to my mind. And grandmother Patsy's, whenever my blessed wife, whenever we got into church, this was advice she said. She goes, let the Lord lead and guide you as you go through life. What precious advice that was, and that's what we've been trying to do as we go through life. We're letting Him lead and guide us as we go along the way. Man will put you down. Man will do things to you. Man will talk about you. But the love of God will be able to lift them up and help you along the way. That's coming to all of us. You know, when I stand, they open that book up. I told Pastor when we first started in the church a long time ago. It's been a long time ago now, in several years. You know, we was in a little play ourselves one night. And then in that play, they opened up the books and you had to go up before the judgment seat. When you got there, they said, I couldn't find your name written in the Lamb's Book of Life. Talk about a sad time, Brother B.J. When you want to leave this old world, you have to stand there and I don't see your name written in the book. What would you give in exchange for it? I believe you'd give anything that you could. But what a joy it's going to be to come in, that true, good, faithful servant. What a joy it's going to be in that morning to hear Him say, well done, enter in. I know I can't go to heaven for my wife. She can't go for me. I can't go for them boys. They're going to have to seek after what I was seeking after when He came into my life and helped me along this way. I was seeking Jesus. I was seeking a home in heaven. I wanted Him to come into my life. I wanted Him to take that fear away from me, Brother Randy. That if death overtook me, I knew where I was going to be at. You know, today I knew where I was going to be at because I knew I had a change in my life. I knew. I was driving that old dozer. It flipped over and I got killed. Heaven was going to be my home. Today, when I leave home, I don't tell my wife goodbye no more. You may say, well, why don't you do that? Because I expect to meet her over in the glory land. If you call me today on the telephone and I don't tell you goodbye, I want to meet you somewhere. I don't want to tell you goodbye here. I want to meet you over in the glory land today. I've come to love these pilgrims. I'm so thankful that this old preacher stood up and told me just exactly where I stood. I was going to go down to a devil's hell if I didn't have Jesus in my life. And you need to live your life before your children, and before your grandchildren, before your neighbors, and before your neighbors' children, that one day after a while they may see that they're going down the wrong path and they turn their life over to Jesus. So many times I think about the things in life. We may, Brother B.J. may not see a lot, but today, if I can live my life, whether I live another year or whether I live to be 100 years old, if my life would mean that maybe one person would turn their life to Jesus, it'd be worth it all today. That they would believe in Jesus and go to heaven when this life's over and not go down to where the rich man did. Thought about that a while ago. What would the rich man give to be able to get out of that awful place of torment? He died, and this is the thought I had. My brother Jerry, when he died, and immediately he lifted his eyes up in hell. I've been tormented in a flame. Can you picture just one little flame been tormented that? You can just light a match and hold it up to your hand and see how bad it hurts. But you know, he asked for Lazarus to be able just to dip his finger in water to put out to comfort him in a way. But you know, to die and go to hell, you're going to be separated from your loved ones in that good place to die. You know, Lazarus, he died and was carried by the angels to Abraham's bosom. He was being comforted. He was in a place of joy, peace, and comfort today. When I die, when I close my eyes in death, I expect to wake in a world that holds no end, where everything will be peace and joy and happiness forevermore. So many times I think about and I try to picture what the Lord did for me. I know we just went through Easter Sunday, and I try to picture it in my mind. As he packed that old cross up Golgotha's hill, crucified. But can you just imagine, every time picture in your mind what he went through, Brother Randy, how they whipped him, how they plucked his beard out, how they put the crown of thorns, how they made fun of him. But still hanging on the old rugged cross, blood running out of him and dying, and took the sins of the whole world. He took not just one, he took the sins of the whole world upon him. Darkness overshadowed the world, but you know the most precious thing of it all, all that they done to him, they spit on him, they did all those things to him, he still loves you today. He still loves you today.
That's right.
Ain't no difference what they done to you, what your enemies do, or what people say about you. Just picture what they done to him, Brother Cecil. And he still loves me today. He come into my heart. He's really knocking in my heart. And when that song, let the Spirit lead and guide you today, when that Spirit started knocking in my heart, and they started working with me, I wanted Jesus to be in my life above all things. How bad? There's so many times I say this. How bad did you want it? Patsy got up that Sunday morning. She took Jeremiah Justin and went to church. I was on my knees and begging for mercy. And this is the thought. And this is what I told the Lord. My wife and 2 little boys come back and they find my dead body. My brother Jerry laying here on the floor. Just don't let me die and go to hell. I want heaven to be my home. If I come home and I'm laying here dead, just take me over to the glory land. But this is the most precious part. He didn't want to take my life. He wanted to give me life today. And the commandment was, go home and tell thy friends the good things that the Lord has done for you today. Don't be ashamed of him today. If he's been working around your heart and you feel like he's leading you along this way and wanting you to step out, don't be ashamed to step out and put your light upon the candlestick that may give light that's all in the house. I'm so thankful today. When I talked about him, I'll shortly get out of his way. I'm so thankful that I had a praying mother. When we was little bitty boys, little kids going up around the house, she'd say, good little boys go to the good place, bad little boys go to the bad place. My mom died when she was 30-some years old, had 6 kids. But she left this whole world, but she left behind a witness, Brother Cecil. If you want to see me in the morning, you serve Jesus what time you walk along this way. My dad got down, had a heart attack, and those kids all still at home. And his prayer was, Lord, just let me live long enough to get them raised to where they be able to be out on the road. But I thank God he piled the stones up. He was a witness today. That's what I'm trying to say. You need Jesus in your life to be a witness for your children, your grandchildren, your neighbors, and your friends today. So my prayer is, if you don't have the Lord in your life, that you'll still out and pray and begin to seek after him today. I want your heaven to be home when you leave this old world. I want to be a witness to them babies. There's nothing. Grandchildren, I know a lot of people got grandchildren, but they're a special blessing to have them grandbabies, especially when they come. And you go out that the door, they're already with you. They're right there with you all the time. Heaven is real today. Real men and women to go.
Sky, no more tears.